An overwhelmed funeral parlour facing the wrath of grieving families.
They are angry about us. They feel that we don't help them enough.
But bodies can only be released once repatriation documents are finalized.
Before COVID-19, we used to take 3-4 days, paper will be ready. But now it stretches up to 2 weeks or so.
The burial deadline for COVID bodies defied.
Instead of taking bodies to be buried in 3 days, we take 2 weeks to 3 weeks.
Behind the restricted area, 2 cold rooms. They have a 64 body shelf capacity. For the undertakers, the pressure is immense. The bodies of 2 COVID-19 victims in the cold room for over a week.
For 2 coffins, they take 2 spaces for 4 bodies. So that's the challenge that we have.
The cold rooms are running out of space.
The bodies that we are bringing in, that we are collecting from the hospitals, they are more than the bodies that we are taking out for burial. We will be able to take maybe 4 bodies out and collect 10 bodies in.
Such is the demand that this undertaker is turning his adjacent chapel into an emergency cold room. COVID-19 is claiming lives in the city, and bodies are piling up. It's the worst Mlandeli Matlala has seen in his 2-decade career.
Because of the pressure that we have and the delays of the documents for the deceased, now we have decided to add another cold room in this room.
Fearing stigmatization, families declined to comment. 50% of the funeral parlour's clientele is from outside the borders, mainly Zimbabwe.
Delays are only experienced in cases where the deceased is undocumented. In such cases, the consulate is mandated to engage the local Registrar General's office in order to obtain the requisite authority to repatriate the body to Zimbabwe.
There have been 12 cases in the past 2 months.
At this point, we have about 4 cases which we are still engaging the relevant stakeholders in Zimbabwe with a view to resolve the cases.
But it's a cumbersome process.
There's a limit to the extent to which we can influence operations of our independent establishments. I would also like to take the same opportunity to strongly encourage our people to ensure that they have the requisite travel documents as well as identification particulars before crossing the border into other countries.
A plea endorsed by undertakers.
It's very challenging. Maybe we'll rent from the government, they'll give us space to keep bodies, I don't know.
The price of COVID-19, losing loved ones to the virus, robbed of customary farewells and funeral proceedings. And for the families of undocumented victims, an onerous task to take the body home. SABC News, Johannesburg.